So it's finally here. After spending the last 6 months building this course out, I'm excited to announce that today I'm launching the Prepper's Roadmap course. I've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks on the channel, and I'm so honored to get to roll this out for you, the prepper community. I had no idea that when I started this channel years ago that it would grow to this point. I've been fortunate to develop a community with you, and I'm very thankful that you've allowed me into your home, and hopefully I've earned your trust. It's been awesome building with a community that shares the same concerns and wants to really prioritize their own preparedness. Had you told me when I started out that this channel would become what it is today, I would have laughed. I just didn't think that there was this level of interest. And for those that have been along with me on this journey up to this point, thank you. Now, when starting out, I knew that there had to be other individuals like myself living in an area with a high population density that was really interested in learning this information. And fast forward several years, it's apparent, especially in light of the events of the last couple of years, that more and more people want to prepare for these uncertain times that we live in. And I'll be honest with you, the last several months has been one of the more difficult times for me personally, yet at the same time, one of the more rewarding periods in my life. I've had to pull some long hours, especially in the last 3 months, as I started sitting down and shaping the content and actually recording in it. And I'm very fortunate that I have a very understanding wife that has allowed me to work over the Christmas break, a time we normally take off as a family. So I'll be spending the next couple of weeks making that up to her. As a creator on this platform, you try to create content that you hope will be successful when it comes to view count. And at the same time, you hope that the message you're trying to convey legitimately helps someone that is watching. The kind words that you as a community have reciprocated back via email and in the comment section has been the fuel, the inspiration that has propelled me forward as I've been working on this course. Now, last summer, after years of saying I'll create this course, I decided the time was now to get serious, especially in light of the issues we've all been facing. Additionally, after having been on YouTube for the last several years, I've noticed quite a number of patterns that have kept popping up over and over. While I've always strived to create content that would hopefully help someone starting off or even someone further along in their journey, I came to the realization that there was no one video I could create that could really encapsulate everything someone would need to know. If you follow me for any length of time, you know that I try to be very meticulous, and I've served in different teaching capacities and nonprofits in the past. And when looking at the subject matter of preparedness, I began to realize that there was really no plan that could help take someone along a timeline that was not overwhelming. We often hear in this community that being prepared for 1 year is kind of the benchmark, the milestone that we should all strive for. And while I think that's an admirable goal, I think at the same time, it's very overwhelming for many starting out or even someone that's been preparing for a while to hear this and visualize it in their mind, how this could be possible. I kept racking my mind wondering how I could provide practical information to you, this community that would equip you and equip as many people as possible. And something that would provide you with a practical guide that would not be overwhelming. It would encourage you as well to help by hitting those achievable milestones. Years ago, my wife and I, we approached our finances like this, and we used a course that followed the same approach, and we were able to get out of debt pretty quickly against all odds. While approaching this course, I wanted to approach it using the techniques that helped us in that course that got us out of debt, using baby steps, tackling one issue at a time and moving forward. And the course is set up so that I can hold your hand along this journey, giving the information in really small, bite-sized chunks, enabling you to piece it all together in a way that would motivate you as you achieve certain milestones. Additionally, I wanted someone coming into this to see that there was a timeline they could actually follow. And just as important, I structured it in such a way as to provide information that was not foreign to someone outside of this community, someone that normally wouldn't otherwise call themselves a prepper, but see the value in being prepared. I was talking with my mom over this past weekend, and we were discussing the current state of affairs around the world. And she's old enough to have seen events play out, which has helped give me perspective as I listen to her. And one of the things that she brought up is the events that we're now seeing playing out, the issues we're facing. They're escalating in such a way that she hasn't even really quite seen them before. And while I acknowledge that we live in one of the most peaceful periods of history, it seems that we're kind of entering into a time where we'll all likely be facing new threats, massive changes that will require you to be all the more self-sufficient and capable of taking care of yourself. And I don't think I'm alone in this sentiment, and it was a driving force behind wanting to create this course for the community. Some may ask, is it too late to prepare? No, it's not. And here's my take on this. We're clearly living in a time where we're seeing massive changes. And at this point, the only thing we can really rely on is change. Inflation is hitting us harder and harder, and it's very unlikely that it will abate in the foreseeable future. It's in your best interest to prepare now, if for no other reason than to get it while the getting is good and affordable compared to what you should expect in the coming years. If you're starting out, one thing you won't find in this community is a lack of information, but maybe rather too much information, and sometimes it's conflicting and it can be hard to reduce it down into actionable information. And with the issues of limited time we all face, trying to cobble everything together in a way that gives you a clear plan, that's going to be challenging, especially time consuming to say the least. I've spent years in what was a preparedness community starting out at a young age, Boy Scouts, doing humanitarian work in impoverished and collapsed nations, which really served to lay the foundation that evolved into me teaching on this channel, learning from you, studying others, and researching in books and blogs. And this has led up to this moment in my life, giving me a perspective to help condense it all down into a timeline in this course that I believe will hopefully help maximize your efforts to move in a very efficient fashion. My biggest concern at this point is time. If you can stay on course, if you can move efficiently, and there's a clear roadmap laid out that you can modify or customize to stay on course, then you have the best odds of preparing in a limited time we have. By saying limited time, I'm not implying that something massive is coming, but more imploring you to take advantage of this time we have to prepare. A saying I learned years ago and is a driving motivator for me on a daily basis is a saying that my uncle told me years ago: make hay while the sun shines. In other words, make the most of a favorable situation while it lasts. At this point in my life, I would say that the biggest lesson that really hit me last year was that you can't get back time. Once it's gone, it's gone. Money, sure. If you lose it, you can always find ways to secure more, whether that's working more, picking up a better job, budgeting, or making financial sacrifices. And I don't say that to be flippant for those that are struggling financially, but time is unique in that once it's gone, it's gone. You can never really get it back. Well, you can't get it back. And what I hope to bring to this community is a plan that allows you to leverage the lessons I've learned, the mistakes I've made, and most importantly, what you've all taught me to speed up your preparedness goals. I'll finish by saying this. I've been a prepper for most of my life in some shape or form. Growing up in most of my adult life, I don't think I knew that term, but several years ago, I started getting structured with my preps. I was in a good place of preparedness, I felt at that time, and I saw things on the horizon that concerned me, but hey, things were good, and I wasn't concerned that most of those issues that I saw would impact me anytime soon, so why be concerned? Normalcy bias, right? The human mind has an astonishing capability of deferring concern for those things in the future that will not immediately impact you today. Then March of 2020 hit. I went from being a casual prepper to realizing those concerns I saw off in the distance were now suddenly in front of me. We can all list out the massive problems that we all face. Some could even be easily classified as existential threats. And we've got problems that will very likely continue to compound in the coming years. And to stand by idly is not really an option any longer. Make hay while the sun is shining. Utilize the time that you have. And there's a world of difference between living in fear and being prepared. I have an insurance policy in the event of my untimely demise. And I know that if anything happens to me, my family will be taken care of. I don't think about the policy, and I honestly don't live in fear of my passing prematurely, but I realize it is a possibility, and I want to make sure that they have the best odds of moving forward. Being prepared, in my opinion, is really no different. The only difference is that there is clearly challenges, problems on the horizon that we can no longer ignore. And I don't look at the future with fear, but rather confidence that I've done all I can to stack the odds in my favor. I believe the course will offer you the same peace of mind, knowing that I can pass off a tool to help you, the community. It does fill me with hope, knowing that you will have the crucial information you need. Again, I just want to thank you for lending me your valuable time and giving me the opportunity to continue building with you. If you're interested in checking out the course, I'll post a link below in the description and comments section. As always, stay safe out there.